lot of the times people will ask me, Stephen, I'm scared. My mother had Alzheimer's disease. I'm scared I'm going to get it. And we were talking about genetics before. And there's another genetic risk factor that we didn't talk about. The ApoE4 gene is one of the strongest risk factors of getting Alzheimer's disease, but it is not a foregone conclusion that you're going to get it. But when you have a copy of the ApoE4 gene, it raises your risk by 2 to 3 times. If you have 2 copies of the gene, it raises your risk by 10 times if you are a male. So 1 copy of the gene, of ApoE4 gene for a female, raises your risk by about 6-fold, whereas 2 copies raises your risk by 15-fold. Having strong legs is by far the most important tool in your toolbox for the prevention of Alzheimer's disease. And this was made certain to me when I read a study done on identical twins, exact same genetic profile. And what they found was that the twin who possessed the greatest strength and the most leg power had a bigger brain, larger gray matter volume. They preserved their cognitive functions.
Why is resistance training increasing the size of my brain?
Resistance training does so much for your brain. So when you look at all of the studies, I want to make it really clear, all of the studies show that in order to produce the neural effects of resistance training, you need to be lifting at around 80% of your 1 repetition max. So 80% of 1 RM. So that's quite heavy. But when it comes to the brain specifically, you want to be lifting heavy for several reasons. The first one is when we lift heavy, when we literally, when we contract our muscle like this, we are releasing a whole set of chemicals. They're called myokines. And when they're released from the muscle, they go up to the brain and they do beneficial things for our cognitive performance, our cognition, and they help with the growth and proliferation of new neurons in the hippocampus. And what we've found is that you can grow new neurons in the hippocampus from structured exercise and consistent exercise. The biggest growth is going to occur because of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. So this is a growth factor for the brain, and it gets released when we exercise, when we do resistance training, and we're releasing all of these myokines. These myokines are signaling molecules, they work together. So we've got one called irisin, okay? And that's a messenger molecule. So what it does is it actually helps BDNF express itself.